In our last video, we talked about using the map method to find the right altar call song. Well, today we're going to talk about how everything we do is aiming towards altar call. If you missed that last video, don't worry. You can just hop on over to my YouTube channel. You can find it there. Go ahead and like it. Subscribe while you're there. I want this to be a resource for your church and your music department. When I decided to do these videos, I wanted to discuss the topic of altar call because to me, it's the most important part of our service. You have to understand that everything we do is aiming towards altar call. For instance, that preacher, he's been preparing all week for that service. And more than likely, he has a direction that he feels he needs to go in for that altar call. Before that, you had a worship service. That worship service is to get everybody ready to hear the preached word of God. So they can hear that preacher preach and he can go in the direction that he feels he needs to go for altar call. Prior to that, you had band practice, you had vocal practice. That way you sound good, you know what you're doing, you know the parts, you know the song, and that way you get to service and it flows smoothly. That's going to set the stage perfectly for the preacher to go in that certain direction he feels he needs to go in for altar call. The very moment a guest or a sinner sets foot on the church property, we already need to have things in place that is pointing them in the direction of altar call. Whether it's greeters welcoming everybody, whether it's having a clean church, whether it's the soundman, making sure the sound, it sounds good, that way it's not distracting. Whether it's the praise team leading worship, the choir singing, all of these play such an important role when it comes to each one of our church services. Every one of these things has to start with the end in mind. And I'll leave you with this. Altar call is not just the preacher's responsibility. Altar call is the church's responsibility. Again, I hope this is helpful to somebody. If it is, share it, tag your team. And listen, there might be a topic that concerns you. So feel free, leave a comment below. And regardless, we'll see you in the next video.